This here is one of the many dogs vying for my attention. They all want love. And this is number one, who's really rock solid. I think his 3 weeks of having that little puppy with me made him very secure in my love. So he doesn't seem threatened at all by me giving love. All these others who are so underfoot that it's hard for me to walk sometimes because they all want to be with me. So here I am. Call me St. Francis. Poor St. Francis will roll over in his grave. But going for walks together helps us reformulate the pack. That's been one of my policies for a long time. Go for walks together. If dogs are having trouble getting to know each other, don't stand in one place and try to work it out. Hey guys, talk about your feelings. No, go for a walk. That's how they become a pack. And over the course of an hour this morning, these dogs went from excluding Magic in the pack to mostly including him. And now they're really running as a pack. That's really great. And look at the mountains. Look at the mountains. So this is the trade-off we made. Living downtown in a 5-story building on the 5th floor with a bunch of middle-class people who could all afford the very reasonable rate at the Hampton Inn. But there's a lot of business travelers and some vacationers. Middle-class people. When Josue, my host here, and Hazel would come to pick me up, I understood why they didn't pull in front of the building. They'd park off in the parking lot because their vehicles just did not fit. Like a 1978 Ford pickup truck and a very much beater Japanese sedan. Neither of which runs very reliably. But look, this is nice. And this is spectacular. When we left the hotel, we had to deal with an 8-lane road right in front. Avenida Tamaulipas, 8 lanes, treacherous to attempt to cross, noisy. And we would have a distant look at the mountains. Not, kind of close to town, but look at this. We're at the feet of the mountains here. Josue tells me 5-minute walk, 5-minute drive. So when he gets my car running in a few days, I'll be able to drive to the park. It's an 1.5-hour walk or something, which I don't want to do. But look at this, how peaceful they are. Now, I made a pact with myself. I knew they were poor. I knew they were living hand to mouth. And I knew that I had complicated their lives by, we were having so much trouble getting PayPal to them. And I think it was a snag on their end. Hazel had set up a PayPal account specifically for me to send it to them. Because none of the banks will let me do anything through the bank. I can't go through a bank unless I have an account. And I can't get an account unless I'm a citizen. So it's really been quite challenging. And finally, she set up a PayPal. But she kept having problems with it. And we finally did a workaround. I sent the money to someone else who sent it back to her cousin in Victoria who got me the money yesterday. But by then I had burned up about 3 more days in the hotel. And he had discovered more and more problems with the car. And I totally trust him to not overcharge me. He's really straight arrow. But what I paid him is really mostly just covering parts and to send the engine out to a machine shop. I think I have not paid his labor. And that's not going to be until May. Another 3 weeks before I get another check. So he's got lots of financial stress, and I've added to it, honestly. And they are my hosts. And I love them. They're awesome people. They are both awesome people. Their 3 children are very amazing, charmed children. They obviously nurtured their human children quite well. Now I, who do regard my dogs as my children, and do, Kim Brophy, my dog trainer friend, her book, Meet Your Dog. Try to get curious about who that dog is and help them become who they're meant to be. Yeah, that is my approach to dogs. Flood them with love and attention and understanding. Now, in my early walk with the dogs, I made a video earlier where I said that when Josue told me they had 17 dogs, I thought, how do you give them enough love? How can you possibly? They don't. They don't attempt to. And what he just said to me was, no, we don't give them names because half of them die. The strong ones survive. We let them come here. They seem to come to us. But I said, well, Magic's going to need kibble by the end of the day. Do you have a stash of kibble? No, we don't feed them. You must have seen the shock in my eyes. No, we don't feed them. So we don't get attached to them. Specifically, do not give them love, because then you'll get attached to them. Because only the strong ones are going to survive, and the others we bury out in the field. Oh, God. This is going to be rough, folks. This is going to be rough for me. And I said, I'm your guest. I'm in Rome. I'm not going to do as the Romans do. I will not criticize your culture, because some of it is cultural. I will not criticize the way you run things here. But I'm not going to do it your way. So I will flood them with love. And, but I think I can't feed them. I think if the word got out that dogs were being fed here, there'd be a lot more dogs descending on them. I think that's part of their culture that I can't break. Even on the sly, giving them treats, I can't. So I'll have to contend with that, because some of them are so skinny. Look at how skinny that guy is. That they just accept the fact that some of them are going to die. Wow, that's going to be rough. So what I can do is give them lots of love, and look how well they're doing with my Magic now. No problems at all. So that's going to be awesome for him to have friends, playmates, and be able to jump out of the car and go for a walk. Yeah. So, here we are. Life's always complicated, isn't it? It's trade-offs. It's all trade-offs. We get the mountains. We get a beautiful family. Beautiful family. Really straight up. Joshua, Josue, and Hazel. Haziel, but she pronounces it Hazel. Really gorgeous people. Dirt poor. And this is, I wanted to get beyond hanging out with middle-class Mexicans, right? Didn't I? I wanted to be on the ground. Here we are, on the ground, rough ground. Nobody's working this field, so I don't feel like anybody's going to be mad at us for walking out here, because it doesn't look like it's being actively worked recently. Yeah. So it's gonna be 3 weeks before I have any money. We'll be good once the car's running in a few days. We'll be getting up in those mountains. Look at that hawk. We'll be getting up into those mountains. Be pretty great, and be able to go back into town. Not very much. Not very much. Okay. Bienvenidos a Mexico. How the people live. A lot of poverty. And we get to see it up close and personal. And love people who are dealing with it the best we possibly can, right? Good. That's good. It's a challenge I'm up for.